Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's episode of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by to hang out with me and check the video out today. And guys, today we're going to be talking about the best lures to use during the month of June. I've got 4 lures out here that just stand head and shoulders above any other lure as far as the number of fish I catch on it. So I'm going to show you what these 4 lures are and sort of give you guys some tips and advice on how to fish them, what type of areas to look for in today's video. I'm also, guys, just a quick invitation out there. Anybody interested in becoming a channel member here of Intuitive Angling, that's a good way to support the channel. And also, channel members get extra videos that are not seen by the public every week on the regular viewership, some access to my personal email address for some memberships, and they're usually the videos that are just a little bit more secretive. I try to keep quiet about. So if you're interested, just go to my YouTube homepage and click on the join button for information and get y'all set up with that. Much appreciated. Okay guys, June, it's like, part of bass fishing, it's a never-ending cycle of transitions and movements of fish, and moreover, the changes in the mood and the personality of the fish as far as different type of lures they react to better. A lot of that has to do with just longer daylight hours, different water clarity, water temperature situations, different movements as far as other, predatory prey and the biology of the lake. Just constantly is a constant flux of change. So over the course of my whole bass fishing career, I've identified, a number of lures that I just catch more fish on in the month of June. So we're going to go over that in today's video. Okay, the first one, guys, is a deep diving crankbait. This is the megabass deep 6 here. Any deep diving crankbait, DD22, Strike King 6XD, deep diving crankbait is one of the top June fishing lures. And also, guys, I'll put the link in the description. Every lure that I'm talking about in today's video, I'll link it in the description here. If you guys want to pick up some and use that link, it's a good way to support the channel and plus get some good deals on tackle. But okay, anyway, deep diving crankbait is a primary lure for me in June. I would say that if you put me on a man-made lake and said, okay, Randy, here's a man-made lake. It's the month of June. You have to go out and just catch, the biggest numbers and the biggest size of fish you can possibly catch, I'd be deep cranking, definitely. And places I'm looking for, usually it depends on the lake. If I'm on a river type ledge lake, like a TVA lake, I'm cranking ledges. If I'm fishing a man-made impoundment, I'm usually cranking deeper, flatter points, main lake and secondary points, trying to target sort of that 8 to 15 foot zone. This megabass deep 6 here runs about 20 feet. I usually put it on like 15-pound line, and again, I try to target that 8 to 15 foot zone. I have found in the month of June, when you're deep cranking or you're fishing out off the bank, that 12 foot is like the magic depth. If you can stay in around 12 foot as far as where your structures, where your drops go with the big crankbait, you'll do a lot better. But there's something about a big deep diving crankbait in the month of June that will trigger those big ones better than any other lure out there. And it doesn't really work that good after June or before month of June. It's really good. Okay, the other ones, that's for the more offshore, type fishing, but the other ones are for more shallow water patterns. Next one, guys, is my favorite, is this megabass sleeper gill. Now, this is a bluegill Flaximity. This is rapidly becoming one of my favorite lures, guys. This thing is freaking awesome in the month of June because, we talk about it a bunch here on the channel. June is when a lot of the bluegills and perch spawn. I was just down at Table Rock yesterday, and there's literally perch this big everywhere across the bank. Everywhere. Bluegills, pumpkin seeds, black perch, everything's up there shallow in the month of June. We took the kids down there and we caught a bunch of bluegills about this size on worms just fishing the bank there. But guys, you need to pick up a couple of these sleeper gills there at Tackle Warehouse. I'll link it in the description again. This thing, it's a swim bait, but I don't fish it deep like a swim bait. I fish this thing, the sleeper gill, same way I'd fish a spinner bait or, a chatter bait or something. I throw it to the bank and I reel it past targets, just keeping it just under the surface. This thing comes across the surface like that. Guys, it's just like a live bluegill. They will freaking annihilate it when they get it. And it skips really good, so I can skip it underneath docks. But in the month of June, I go back into those areas where I think those bluegills are spawning and use the sleeper gill. Really, really good, especially if you got a little bit cleaner water. This thing does not work that good if the water visibility is like under 3 feet. But if you've got over 3 foot of visibility, the sleeper gill is absolutely deadly with that. Now, the other two are the same type of sort of situations, those shallow deals This is another one that's designed for bluegill spawn. It's a swim jig. Swim jig, guys, is super, super versatile in the month of June. I would put the month of May and June both as my top time of the year for fishing a swim jig. Usually I like a smaller one. This is that megabass Ouzo swimmer. It's a 3/16. I got a little zoom Z-Craw Junior on it. This isn't necessarily the color I'd use. I just picked it out to show you how I set it up. But normally I try to get some type of a perch pattern. So I'm normally using a swim jig that's got some green, chartreuse, orange, that type of deal. And it's the same as with the sleeper gill. I'm just going down those areas where I think the bass or the bluegills are spawning at, and I throw the swim jig out there, throw it to the bank, keep my rod tip high, keep it shallow, keep it like an inch underneath the surface where you can see the swim jig coming up back all the way to the boat, and just throw it out there and just like twitch your rod as you're reeling it. So you don't want the swim jig just like going straight across the water. You want to twitch your rod tip so it's sort of going like this across the water. Sometimes I'll sink it, then pull it up to almost to the surface. But guys, a swim jig is a great lure for catching bass in the month of June at. And guys, the last one, which is one of my favorite ways to catch them also, is just a walking topwater. Zara spook, like a super spook. This is the megabass Diamante. Any type of a walking topwater, the month of June is outstanding. And the thing about this walking topwater, it really works under a wide range of situations depending upon the water clarity that you have and the type of lake. If you guys have a clear water lake that has a mixed species, like, you know, where water visibility is like, say, 4 foot or better, and you've got some smallmouth bass, some spotted bass, and largemouth bass mixed, like all you guys that fish those eastern Kentucky lakes, Tennessee lakes, Ozark lakes, you know, all that type of stuff, get on some bluff banks or main lake points, specifically bluffs, and parallel those walking topwaters down those bluff banks that have some shade on it. And guys, they will hammer it in the month of June. And also, if you have clear water, get out on those flat points and get out there in deep water over those flat points. So if you got a lake that's got like over 4 foot of visibility, get your boat out there at 25 to 40 foot of water and fan cast all over anywhere between 10 to 50 foot of water. And these walking topwaters on a low wind day, like a calmer day, it'll pull fish out of 30 or 40 foot of water to hit them on the top, you know, especially if you got some spotted bass in there. Now, if the water's a little bit more off colored, like say the water visibility is under 3 feet or sort of in that 2 to 4 foot range, same deal with the swim jig and the sleeper gill. Fish the walking topwater back in those same type of areas where the bluegill are spawning. Just get on those flatter type spawning banks and just cover water, start fishing about halfway in the cove, work all the way to the back and come out the other end and just start running that pattern all over the lake. And these walking topwaters will catch fish. It'll catch those same type of bass that are after those bluegills as the swim jig and the sleeper gill. Just depends on their mood that particular day. If you have a low light day, the topwater is going to work better. So anyway, guys, that's my 4 top baits for the month of June. Deep diving crankbait, a walking topwater, this megabass sleeper gill. Pick you up some, guys. This is freaking awesome. Link in the description. And the old trusty standby swim jig. Can't beat that. Sort of gives you an option to fish a lot of different depth zones, different, you know, type of water clarities on it. And I just catch a bunch of fish on them this time of the month. So hope it helps you guys too, and we'll talk later. See you.